hit the dependency inspiration up here. If you do own a Beamable Network Checker Node license, I'm going to walk you through a tutorial on how you can set this up on a VPS for just $10 a year. Now, if you've never worked with a Linux VPS before, don't worry, most of my tutorials are beginner friendly, and I'm going to walk you through the entire process of everything you need to know to get you started. The prerequisite to be able to participate in this is that you do own a Beamable Network Checker Node license. Now, before I proceed, one important thing to note is that if you do set up this node yourself on your VPS, it means that everything that has to do with the node maintenance is going to be exclusively handled by you. If you do not want to go through all the technical stuff, you can always set up your node through a node as a service provider. This is a bit more expensive, but hey, you pay for the luxury. Now, to get started, there are a few things that we're going to need. The first thing that we're going to need is, of course, a VPS to set up this node. The specification for the checker node is extremely low, and I really love this. So you just need 0.25 CPU core, 512 megabytes of storage, and just 10 megabytes upload or download internet connection. Now, a few prerequisites that we're going to need two wallets. Now, the first wallet is going to be the wallet that contains your checker node NFT. The second wallet is called the delegation wallet, and this is called the burner wallet. This is technically going to be the wallet that is going to connect your node that we're going to set up on the VPS to your NFT. Now, very important, this delegation wallet, we're going to have to expose the private key. So we're going to make sure that we use a wallet that doesn't contain any funds. And very important, don't use your checker node license wallet as the delegation wallet. I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. Now, thirdly, we're going to need a Helius API key. This, we can create one for free, and I'm also going to walk you through the entire process on how we're going to do so. Now, to get started, the first thing that we're going to need is a VPS server. For the VPS, my recommendation would be to go with Racknet. Now, they are currently having a sale. You can get a VPS with them for approximately $10 a year, and the specification of this VPS is way more sufficient for the Beamable Checker Node that we want to set up. Now, the price is extremely affordable, but the VPS is quite reliable. I use the same VPS for my ATA Checker Node, my KIP Checker Node, and most of my nodes that I have that are quite lightweight, and the stability is extremely good. Now, if you want to get one of these VPS, I'm going to put my referral link in the description section. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does give me some referral credits to support me to bring some quality tutorials like this to you. So if you want to order, just click the link in the description section. Now, it's going to bring you to this page here where you're going to see the specifics of the VPS that you want to order. So now here, you don't need to change anything. Just make sure that you confirm that you are paying $10, approximately $10 a year. Here for the billing cycle, you can go with annually, and then here you can put in any label that you want to give to your VPS server. I'm going to keep this the same, and very important, just make sure that your operating system is at 24.04. Now, everything with respect to RAM, CPU core, leave it the same. If you change anything, it would incur an extra cost. Now, after that, just click on continue, review the order, make the payment, and we can continue to the next step. Now, after placing the VPS order, it takes a few minutes for them to send you the credentials that we're going to use to connect to the VPS server. So whilst waiting, we're going to proceed to the next step, after which the VPS credentials should be ready. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to create a Helios API key, and here we can create a free account with Helios to get this API key. Now, to do so, just come to helios.dev, and this is the same link that is in the official Beamable network guide. Now, on this page, just click on sign in, and then here, if you do not have an account, you can just create a new account for free. After you have created a new account, very important, come to the free option here and click on create free projects. After selecting the free plan, when you come to API keys, you would see that a new API key has been created for you with a key name and a key ID. We're going to need the key ID credentials when we are setting up the node on the VPS. So now that we have the API key, we have our VPS ready. The third thing that we're going to need is a burner wallet address. Now, remember, the burner wallet address is going to connect your node that you're going to set up on the VPS to your NFT. The private key of the burner wallet address is going to be exposed during the setup. So please make sure that you don't use any wallet that contains any funds. How I did this was just to create a new profile on Chrome and install Phantom and use a completely new wallet that I haven't used for any other thing, because I repeat, we're going to expose the private key of this burner wallet address. So now that we have this set up, let's proceed to the next step. In the next step, like it says here, we're going to activate and delegate. We're going to go to the Beamable node dashboard, and we're going to activate our NFT. I'll just come here, click on this link here, and then on this page, we're going to connect to the wallet that contains your checker node NFT. I'm going to click on connect wallet, and I'm going to connect to Phantom, to the wallet that contains my Beamable checker node NFT. Now here, when I scroll down here, you see that I do have one checker node license that is inactive. Now, to activate this, I'm just going to click on activate license. I'm going to sign the transaction. So make sure that you have a bit of Solana to cover for the gas fees. So now you see that my node is active. The next stage that we're going to do is to delegate this NFT to the burner wallet address. Now, to do so, I'm going to come to the new Phantom wallet that I created. I'm going to come here and I'm going to copy the Solana address or the wallet address of the new burner wallet address that I created. I repeat, this is not a wallet that contains your NFT. This is just a burner wallet address that we created to connect the node to the NFT. So I'm just just going to come here and I'm going to copy the Solana wallet address. I'm going to come back to the Beamable dashboard. I'm going to click on Delegate license and I'm going to paste in the Solana burner wallet address. After that, I'm going to click on Delegate. I'm going to sign the transaction and you can see that my NFT is now bound to this burner wallet address. So now we have our NFT activated. We have the Helios API key and we also have the VPS ready. In the next stage, we're going to go into the VPS and we're going to do all the magic with respect to setting up the node. Now, after a few minutes after purchasing the Racknet VPS, you're going to receive an email that looks like this. Now, in this email, we're going to need two things. The first thing that we're going to need is the IP address of the VPS server. And the second thing that we're going to need is the root password. Now, with the IP address and the root password, we're going to be able to log in into the VPS server. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how to connect to the VPS server. Now, to connect to the VPS server, there are several applications out there that you can use. You can use Putty, you can use Temios, but most of the time, if you don't want to install any external application, Windows operating system or Mac operating system also do come in with inbuilt applications. So for instance, if you're using a Windows operating system, just click in the start bar and search Windows PowerShell. Now click on Windows PowerShell and you're going to see a command prompt that looks like this. If you're using a Mac operating system, Mac also comes with an application that is called Terminal. Commands that we're going to be using in PowerShell is going to be the same commands that you can also use in Terminal. Now to connect to the VPS server, just type in the command SSH space root. Now root is going to be the username of your account to connect to the VPS server. Type in @ and then put in the IP address of your VPS server. After putting the IP address, just put in enter. And then here you're going to be asked if you are sure you want to connect to the VPS. If you are sure, just type in yes and then press enter. In the next stage, you're going to put in the password of your VPS server. Because it's a very complex password, my tip would be to just copy it from the email that you receive from Racknet, come into the PowerShell console and then right click. Whenever you right click, whatever is in the clipboard would be pasted into the console, although you do not see this. And after that, just press enter. And then now you see that I'm connected to the VPS server. So I'm just going to type in clear to clear the screen so that you can follow whatever I'm going to be doing very, very easily. Now at this stage, I split my screen into two windows so that you can see all the commands that we're going to be using. Now the first thing that I always recommend when you have a fresh VPS server is to update the operating system. Now you can do so by using the command sudo apt update sudo apt upgrade -y. The next thing that we're going to need is to install some dependencies. So the Beamable Network Checker Node runs on Docker, so we're going to have to install Docker and Docker Compose. Now before I do that, I'm going to clear the screen by just typing clear just to make it a bit easier for you guys to see what I'm doing. Now we're going to install Docker and Docker Compose using this command here. I'm also going to give you these commands so you can just copy paste. So Docker and Docker Compose are now installed. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create two files, one that is called .env and the second file that is called Docker Compose YML. Now what I always suggest to do is to just create a folder where you're going to put in these two files. So I'm just going to create a folder that is called Beamable by using the command mkdir for make directory, and I'm going to call this Beamable. And after that, just press enter. Now when I type in ls, you see that now I have a new folder that is called Beamable. What we're going to do is we're going to change and go into this directory that is called Beamable by just typing in cd space Beamable and press enter. And then now you can see that we went from this syntax here into another syntax that ends with Beamable, which means that we have entered the Beamable folder. Now the next stages are the most important aspect, so please make sure that you pay attention. I'm going to clear the screen just to make it a bit easier, and we're going to put in a command nano space .env. Now this is going to create a new text editor space where we're going to paste in these credentials to set up the node. Now paste in this command and just press enter. And then you can see that it creates a new space within which we're going to paste in these information that we have. My tip for you is that don't paste this directly into the console. Just copy this, open any text editor, like in my case Notepad, and I'm going to paste in this same command that we copied here into the Notepad editor. Now what we're going to do in this command is we're going to replace the fields, your API here, with the API that we created from Helios. We're also going to replace this field here with the burner wallet address that we created. You remember we created a new phantom wallet address that we're going to use for the burner wallet address, and this is the address where we're going to have to expose the private key. Down here we're going to need two other fields. The first field that we're going to need is called specific license 1, and we'll find this information on the Beamable dashboard. And the second thing that we're going to need is called trusted owner, and this is going to be the wallet address that contains the Beamable network NFT. If you're confused, don't worry, we're going to go through this together so that you guys can follow whatever we're going to be doing. We're going to start with the Helios API key. So here, remember we created a Helios free account, and then when you come to the API key, you see that I have my key ID here. I'm going to blur this because I don't want to expose this. I'm just going to click on copy API key. I'm going to come into my text editor and I'm going to replace this section here with my API key. And in the next stage, we're going to need the private key of the burner wallet address that we created. Like I said, in my case, I created a completely new phantom wallet address that I'm going to be using for this. Now to find the private key, just open phantom here, right? And then click on the icon that we have here for the account. Come down here and click on manage accounts. And then you see some dots here. Click on the dots here and then just click on show private key. So put in your password. After that, you can see your private key. So now you see that all my private keys are listed. What we are interested in is the Solana private key. So just come here, click on Solana, and then I'm going to click that I understand that I want to show the private key. And then here, I'm just going to click on copy to copy the private key. So now that I have copied the private key, I'm just going to come back into my text editor. I'm going to highlight everything from your to here, and I'm going to paste in the private key. The next thing that we're going to do is to come to the specifics of our Checker Node NFT. I'll come back to the Beamable dashboard. Under the section called license, you see that there is an address here with a copy button. Now just come here and click on the copy button here. It tells you that the license address has been copied to the clipboard. Come back into the text editor and replace the specific license ID 1 with the license ID that we copied from the dashboard. In the next stage, we're going to paste in here the wallet address that contains your Checker Node NFT. So in my case, I'm going to come to my Phantom wallet, and then when I come to collectibles, you see that I do have one Beamable Network NFT. So I'm going to copy the wallet address of this account. Under Solana, I'm going to copy this address. Remember, Beamable is built on Solana, so we're going to be using the Solana based addresses. I'm going to paste this in here, and then technically we're good to go. Now, very important, if you do have multiple NFTs, in my case, unfortunately, I do have one NFT, so I can't demonstrate this. But if you have multiple NFTs, all you're going to have to do is to just put in comma, copy the license of the second NFT, paste this in here as well, put in comma, put in the wallet address of the second license, and the same applies for every NFT that you have. In my case, I do have only one NFT, so I do not need to do this. Now, after putting this, I'm going to select Ctrl-O to highlight everything, and I'm going to press Ctrl-C to copy this. I'm going to come into my nano text editor and just right click. Now, whenever you right click on the console, it's going to paste whatever you have in the clipboard. After pasting in whatever you have in the clipboard, press Ctrl-X on the keyboard, and then it's going to ask you if you want to save this configuration. Now here, press Y for yes. Then it's going to ask you if you are sure you want to override this, and press enter. And then now our configurations are saved. I knew it was a lot, but I really wanted you to understand everything that we are doing. So for instance, if I'm to go back into my nano editor, you would see that previously it was empty, and now we do have something in there. If I want to leave, I'm just going to press Ctrl-X, but because I didn't change anything, it's not going to ask me to save. Now that is the first part. The second thing that we're going to do is to create the Docker Compose file. Now to create this, we're going to use the command. Let me clear the screen here again. You do not need to be doing the clearing, but I'm just doing it just so you can follow whatever I'm doing. We're going to use the command nano docker compose.xy.yml, and then just press enter. And then here, you don't need to change anything. Just come to the docs here, click copy to copy whatever is in here. Come into the console, right click to paste whatever we copied from here. We do not need to change anything, right? And after that, just press Ctrl-X for exit, and then Y that we want to save this, and then enter to write this into the file. Then when I come back again and run the same command, you see that now it's not empty. Now I have some stuffs in the nano editor. So I'm going to leave this place by just pressing Ctrl-X. And then technically from a configuration perspective, we have put in all the configurations that we need to set up the Checker Node. Now, very important, we created a folder called Beamable. So make sure that whatever you're doing here is in this folder that we created. Now, from a configuration perspective, we are done. Next and most important thing that we're going to do now is to start the node. Now, you're going to do so using the command docker compose app-d. I'm going to paste this in here. I'm going to press enter. Now the image files are going to be downloaded, and after that the Docker container would be automatically started. So now you can see that it says that the Docker container has been created. This is done. So when I run docker ps, I'm going to make this a bit bigger for you to see it a bit more clearly. You see that I have one Docker container that was created just 10 seconds ago. So this is up and running. When I type the command docker logs space, copy the name of this container, paste this in here, and I press enter. This looks very good. So you can see that the health check is completed and the log so far looks very, very good. Now, what we can also do, like stated in the Beamable docs, is to basically inspect what is going on in there. So you can use, for instance, this command that they have here. I think I saw this somewhere here. Docker inspect Beamable Checker. Now, when I paste in this command here, Docker inspect Beamable Checker, and I just press enter, it gives you a full list of things that are going on. But don't worry, the information that we need to see in the inspect is at the beginning. So I'm just going to scroll to the top of the logs. And then when you come to the top, just after you executed the inspect command, you would see something here called state. And then here under status, you see running. So which means that the node is running. Under running, you will see through, and paused is false. So if you see something like status running through, just like they mentioned in their docs, under state, you see status, which is running, and running variable to be true. Then it means that your node is up and running. So technically from a node setup perspective, our node is up and running. When it comes to the node dashboard, currently I do not see anything like the VPS is active, the VPS is offline or stuff like that. So currently it appears like I can only monitor this from the logs of the VPS server. Probably this is somewhere, but I haven't found this out yet. If someone knows how to do this on the dashboard directly, please let me know. But till then, I'm just going to be checking the logs periodically on the VPS to make sure that everything is up and running. Just before I forget, if you do want to stop the node from running, you can just use the command docker-compose. Remember when we're starting up the node we used up, but if you want to stop it, you can just use the command down and press enter, and this would basically stop the node. And if you want to remove the images that were downloaded when you were setting up this node, you can also simply use the command docker remove RMI for remove image beamable network /checker latest, and this would also remove the images that were downloaded when setting up this node. If you do have any questions in terms of setting up this node, please hit me up in the comment section and I'm very happy to help you out. And with that, I say thanks for watching this video and see you in the next one. Bye.